Well, I guess this is it. My broadcast got flipped around, but I'm going to take you with. Hi there.
Nice.
Well, here we are. I'm at Rhode Island in Newport and on the beach, and I'm going to try and put my camera so that you can see what I see. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to work. So, here is the sunset. Pretty awesome. And I'm just doing a cliff walk along the beach. So I'm going to pass a number of people probably as we are walking. But I just thought I would take a few minutes today to share a couple thoughts about why what I did to take the first step, major step, I feel like, in hindsight, to stop being poor in my life. And it seems, I don't know, pertinent. We're doing some drive-bys. This area, the Cliffwalk, is absolutely gorgeous. And the opportunity to look at the ocean, I'll give you a chance to see some of it here as I walk by, is spectacular. Because this cliff walk runs right along where the, where all the mansions are, between the mansions in Newport and the sea. And so I just wanted to not only get out here for some exercise and to enjoy the sunset, but I thought it would be a chance to just share one thing that kind of stands out when I reflect on my life and some of the changes that I made when I started looking at how to create wealth, how to build wealth, how to stop being broke. I was tired of being broke, and the impact I was making was so minimal that I wanted to do something different. Definitely worth seeing here. It might be worth stopping just for a few minutes. You can see the mansion. Let's see. Here's some of them behind me. This is kind of a swing around, but since I am still a novice using equipment, you can see this is the end of the cliff, one end, so there's not as many mansions to see. There is one up ahead I'll show. Anyway, the point being that in life we have just these decisions to make, and we have poignant moments where we choose what direction we're going to take in life. And the fact is, there just came a point of reflection where I had to decide who I was going to be and what I was going to do. And so I had done a lot of study at that point. I had had a lot of research, and in my time studying the Bible and all that it had to do with money and resources and wealth, I just decided that I wanted to have more opportunity. If money brought freedom, then that was something that I chose to do. Here is, again, some of the mansions behind me. Let's see those. Hello. I'm gonna grab a seat here on the rocks and just finish. And so for me, the thing that I did in that moment, after reading all that I had read and talking to all the people that I'd talked and studying, I had become persuaded that the Bible, what God had great plans for us, and that wealth isn't an issue. It just involved me learning to create wealth. And this thing has a mind of its own, and I might need a new gimbal because I am not a master at this. You guys bear with me. This live streams aren't like anything else I have done, but I am figuring it out. And I'm just going to take it in my own hand. Hold on. We're going to release it to be old school. Sometimes technology works to our detriment. So, last thought. I think there's a delay in the live stream and what's showing up on my video feed, and that's also giving me this just really weird perspective on life. So, we're not going to move. We're going to hold steady. I basically made a choice. I didn't want to be poor anymore, and I needed to make a decision about what I was going to do. And so I had heard somebody say that how words frame our viewpoint, words impact our life. And I heard somebody one time say how they stopped using the word poor because poor was a mindset and more of a generational belief. And so when they wanted to speak about not having money, they decided to use the word broke instead, that they were broke in that moment or in that situation. But they refused to use the word poor. And I just grabbed a hold of that. And I thought it was really profound because I think words are life and death. You know, the Bible says that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and what we speak matters. And so at the time, I didn't have a lot else to go on, but I just began to realize that the words, whatever words I was speaking, mattered. And I wanted to speak words that made a difference. And so using those words in my struggles, in whatever I was facing, I stopped saying that I was poor or I'm too poor for this and that, because you don't even realize the subconscious ways you're saying that. And as I kind of just drew a line in the sand and decided to stop using that word. And if I had to speak about not having enough money in my bank account to do something, then I would just refer to being broke in that moment, or in that situation, I just didn't have enough money, and I was kind of broke to maybe do what my other friends and others were doing. And I feel like when I look back at the major decisions in my life and where these pivot points or these paths that you take, it was a really powerful one for me in the sense that it started me on a different journey, figuring out how the game of money and what money was. And not that I don't say that lightly about the game of money, but I had to learn the rules of money, so to speak. It's a spiritual thing, and I think there's ways that we live in a world that requires money, but most of us aren't taught about how to relate and interact with money. And people that grow up in wealthy, wealth is very, I guess this was something else I wanted to say. You know, coming down on the shore, it just stood out to me. I wanted to do this Cliffwalk, and it was gorgeous. And, you know, but wealth and money are so relative, it's ridiculous. It's relative in America. You can think you're poor compared to your neighbors, or poor compared to the middle class, or people in middle class are poor compared to those who are wealthy. But compared to anyone else in the world, most people who have traveled recognize that we in America, even the poorest of Americans, are richer than most anyone else in the world. And conversely, or similarly, there is the concept of wealth through time. And I think it's astounding that the poorest people here in America are also some of the richest people that have historically lived. You know, even kings and queens didn't have running water and flushing toilets, and they didn't have indoor heating and the technology that we have to be able to do video chats or, have on demand. I mean, even the poorest person, again, in America, and even now many places around the world, has access to technology that is just mind-blowing. And so when we come to think about poverty and wealth, it's always relative, and sadly we're mostly just comparing ourselves to other people. But I think it's in our nature to grow and do better and want to increase our capacity and use our gifts and skills and do more in the world. And it's are you doing that to just hoard and build up your own corner and empire? Are you doing it to make a difference? Are you doing it to be more radically generous? Are you doing it to impact lives and make a difference? And so just there's nothing in itself ennobling about poverty, and neither is there anything great about wealth. They're just tools, nothing more than fire or other tools at our disposal to make a difference. And so final thoughts, I just challenge you to think about how you think about money. Think about how you think about money. And that was, for me, changing how I use the words broke and being poor was one of the first ways that I really wrestled with how I could speak different about money. And with that, I give you the sunset from Newport, Rhode Island, and the gorgeous coastline. I'll see you on the next video.